Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Odin's Movie Blog. I am the critic who is a cynic. How is everyone doing this evening? Welcome back to the one-man low council as I get my camera back set because that was all kinds of crazy. That's a little too dark. That's just about right there. And let's turn that low light compensation off, and then we will be golden. Hope everyone is doing fantastic. Welcome back to the One Man Low Council, and welcome to episode 193 of the Welcome to Asgard podcast. Hope everyone is doing swimmingly. Hope everyone's week is going well. Today we have much to talk about because Regal Cinemas, and by extension Cineworld in the UK and other locations, has decided to close its theaters down for the foreseeable future, most likely for the rest of 2020, because all new movies have essentially been canceled now at this point. Almost all of the major releases that were set to come out this year have been pushed back to 2021 and a couple even to 2022. And it also seems that you could potentially still have places like Cinemark and AMC, which claim to have the plans to remain open and not to close. However, if the money continues to not roll in for various film properties, as it seems like this is going to be the case, I don't really think and don't really see a future in 2020 where AMC doesn't close certain things down. I actually found out just the other day that one of my local AMCs is now 3 days a week only. They are shut down every weekday and are only open for business Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Which is very sad to see, very crazy to see. And as I've mentioned previously, I just don't like it when you have all of these theaters being shut down, mostly because of, obviously, Hollywood deciding not to release their movies, but also because of the initial forced shutdown by various governors, mayors, and local principalities, etc. And it just makes the whole shutdown thing that much more frustrating and that much more infuriating, especially the more and more that we learn about the virus, the more and more we learn about just how completely unnecessary a lot of this action was and just how much permanent damage it's done. And all I can think about are, of course, the many people who have now since lost their jobs and have no place to work. And obviously, there seem to be a lot of jobs that might be available for a lot of these people to be able to find different and new work. And yet again, some people, as I've mentioned previously, are retired. And the movie theater is one of the few places that can offer the kind of flexible hours that retired people are looking for. You also have many people that are usually working multiple jobs just to make ends meet. And the movie theater, once again, offers the type of flexibility that allows many people to get just an extra little bit of cash, even if it's working minimum wage, even if it's only working so many days a week. It is something that allows them to get that extra cash. And as I've mentioned previously, that's the reason why I get so pissed off when I see the comment section and when I see other people deciding to put the whole, well, they're owned by China, AMC, they're owned by China, so good, I'm glad they're closing. And again, I understand the sentiment, but then I go back to what we've said previously about, okay, if you're so anti-China, then I ask the question, do you own an Apple product? Do you own anything really in 2020 that isn't at some point made or manufactured in China? Because if that's the case, then you need to toss it out, throw it away, and never buy anything ever again, if that's the kind of logic that we're going to use with that. Instead, what I'm going to look at is I'm going to look at the American workers that are losing their jobs because of this nonsense. I'm going to look at, again, those retirees trying to make that little bit of an extra bit of cash, probably to be able to spend more time with their grandkids, have enough to be able to enjoy their retirement. And also, of course, those younger families as well, those younger high school students getting their first job, and those who are working multiple jobs that need places like the movie theater in order for them to be able to get those extra hours, to pay off those bills, to try and provide the best life that they possibly can. So again, you can go ahead and take as much joy and cheer out of the theater industry being affected like this, but when you remember the real people that are going to be impacted by it, hopefully, if you have a soul, that is, you realize that it really is not a laughing or happy matter for this to happen. So once again, Regal Cinemas, Cineworld is shutting down all of its theaters. Regal Cinemas here in the United States will be closing by Thursday. Was just announced recently. AMC and Cinemark have officially come out to say that they have no plans to close. And of course, we know that this is all really stemming from the fact that almost every major film that was set to come out this year has officially been moved from this year to 2021. And as I said earlier, in a couple of cases, even all the way to 2022. So with that all being said, we'll talk a little bit more about that as the night goes on. Let me say hello to some people. So let's say hello to my D-Live fam. First off, we got a lot of stuff going on over on D-Live, a lot of love being shown there. So let's see. We got Captain Mr. Roy, Phonemo, Mr. Peabody, Captain Adam and the Clan, I see over there as well. Captain Dean Heiss as well. Philly the Hobbit, thank you for the lemon donation. The K-Man, thank you for the ice cream donation. I very much appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. JKD Buck 76 over on the D-Live fam today. Thank you very much for the ice cream donation. And Captain Mr. Roy, thank you for another ice cream donation. Lord, you're going to make my voice sore with all these ice creams over there. And Captain Dean Heiss, thank you for the 3 ice cream donations. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Phonemo says, wasn't Regal the theater chain doing the Alita thing? It was one theater chain looking to do that. Now that is completely out the window. So Alita has one less chain to go with. Cinemark, though, is remaining open, and Cinemark was the first theater chain and the main theater chain to be taking up Alita. But as I said even beforehand, Cinemark, though it is one of the major chains in the United States, is not as big as other places like Regal or like AMC. And even if you have all fans of Alita going to see it once again, it's not going to be enough. You know, again, I'm glad that there's people pushing for the campaign. I really am, and I fully support them. But I'm sorry, we have to start waking up to reality here. The only way a sequel is going to get made at this point is if James Cameron gets his head out of his ass, specifically out of Pandora Land, and decides to greenlight it. Because again, he's the one that owns the rights to it. So it doesn't matter if there's a huge fan support, because obviously there is. There's a huge fan support for it. Obviously, we can continue to try to show that with the Twitter campaigns and obviously getting Cinemark to show it. But keep this in mind. Cinemark is going to take anything at this point. Any fan base that wants to push any movie onto their theater, they are going to take, because they want any movie that they think is going to make them even just a little bit of money. So I want people to keep that in mind. I want people to keep that in mind, because it's great, really it is, that there's still so much passion behind it. And again, I'm a huge fan of Alita. I gave away so many 4Ks. I keep on telling people, if you've not seen it, to watch it. If it's playing in a Cinemark near you, I highly recommend that you do so. But we have to be very careful here, because I feel like a lot of the mindset is, oh, if we just do this one thing, if we just do this one more thing, we're going to be this much closer. It doesn't work that way. Again, until James Cameron comes around and stops playing around with frickin' Avatar 2000, it's not going to happen, no matter how much extra cash it makes on the side here. Because even if the entire Alita army went to go see the movie, it would be a drop in the bucket at this point. It's not about the money in this instance, because it costs a lot of money for them to make it. And remember also, it's Disney behind it now. It's not Fox anymore, it's Disney that would be behind making this movie. James Cameron is not going to work with another studio. Disney is the one that's giving him all that extra cash so that he can go off and do Avatar until he's 90 years old. So do you really trust and want Disney to have their hands on Alita? Do you really want James Cameron to say, oh, I'm going to give the rights to Disney instead, and then they can take it from there? I don't. I would rather not have a sequel at all than for Disney to get their grubby little hands on it. I'm just going to be honest. If James Cameron was behind it, if James Cameron was the one who was running everything, if he was the one that was pushing for everything, that might be one thing. But if Disney, as we've seen them get involved with so many IPs and so many properties, all they know is to destroy, and Alita is a perfect candidate for them to destroy. Because they're going to turn Alita into a feminist propaganda piece, which is exactly what the film wasn't, which is exactly what the manga wasn't, Disney will turn it. I bet you dollars to donuts. So, as I said, there are, I think, so many more reasons to not really jump on this new thing if the intention is to try and get a new movie at this point. Because as I said, you need James Cameron more than anything else. And then even if you do still get it, he's going to be working with Disney, and Disney's going to have creative control over it. Because they're going to obviously be putting money behind it. And I don't trust them one iota. Sorry if I'm bursting any bubbles here, but I got to keep it real. I just got to. Anyway, let's see what's going on. Probably pissed off some people, but hey, the truth needs to be said. Captain Dean Heiss, R.I.P. Eddie Van Halen. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Rest in peace. Only like 65 years old, I think. Way too young. Way too young. JKD Buck, what's going on? How is it going? Peabody, thank you for taking care of a troll. I appreciate that very much. JKD Buck says, we control the movie theater companies and tell them we are all craving Leonard Part 6. Part 6. What was the Part 1? Yeah, what is Leonard? Leonard Part 6? I don't quite understand what's going on there. By the way, it looks like it says 16 people watching on DLive. It looks like the trolls might be afoot. So if anyone has an axe over there, because it's an axe over on DLive, please take care of those people. Let me jump back over now to my YouTube fam. What's going on, YouTube fam? Cobra Viper 999 is here. Lord Toth was here earlier. Rory Butcher, what's going on? Hey, Butcher. How's it going? The new number 2 in the chat as a member. R.I.P. Eddie Van Halen. Absolutely. Tina B says, welcome to the Tuesday stream. Smash that like button on the way in. If you want Odin to see your comment, yes, indeed, put that Odin question, all one word, Odin question. It'll highlight the message for me, and it'll let me know you're trying to get my attention. Thank you. 2020 is a trash fire. Great name, and it's true. And it's just getting worse. It's just getting worse. Especially now with all the films essentially leaving, including a film I was looking forward to in Dune. I have to wait another year for that. Top Gun, obviously, was my most anticipated. That was already moved to July of next year. And pretty much the only big release that we have left on the schedule, to my knowledge, is Wonder Woman 84, which, to be honest, I'm not that excited about because the CGI for Cheetah, it sucked. It was terrible. Not to mention the fact that she's a terrible actress. The actress that they got, Kristen Wiig, the one that they got to play Cheetah. I have no interest in seeing it, and especially with the rumors and speculation that they've based one of their characters off of the president, I have very, very little interest in it, to be honest. So there are no big movies left, sadly, coming out this year. And so for a place like Regal to shut down makes sense. It makes sense for them to do so. For places like Cinemark and AMC to be in a lot of trouble, it makes sense. And this is something that we've been talking about now several times over. It just, who's going to pick up the tab? The American people? Hollywood? Hard to say. Because again, there's arguments that can be made in many different directions. 13th Warrior, how's it going? Bryant Barth in the chat as well. Let's see here. Bryant Barth says, did you see the Doomcock Batman video? I have not. But obviously that is one of the films that's been pushed back. That film's been pushed back to 2022. That's one of the films also pushed back. Let's see. Orange Hat Review says, Viking funeral for Regal and AMC, so sad. Seriously, AMC's staying open for now. But the fact that one of their theaters, and I imagine it's not the only AMC that's doing this, is on a very limited time run where it's only open on the weekends and not opening during the week. I can't imagine that other theaters won't follow suit, especially, as I said, with every major film left to come out. Again, Dune has been moved now to October of 2021. The Batman pushed to March of 2022. Let's see, what else? Matrix 4 is now going to be moving up to December of 2021. But guess what? That film is just, I'm sorry, that film, I think it's going to suck. I think Matrix 4 is going to be a complete catastrophe. Knowing now that you've got the Wachowski brothers, yes, I said the Wachowski brothers because that's who they are. Don't care what the hell they think they are. But the fact that they have said and now have rewritten their own history saying, well, actually the Matrix was an allegory for a trans story arc. Give me a break. And now they're going to reboot a film that had an ending where the last two films were not that good, where the last film was complete trash. Yeah, those same people who are now even crazier now than they were then. Yeah, I'm sure they're going to make a great film. I'm excited Keanu's back, but guess what? Good actors, great actors can do bad projects. I have no faith at all in Matrix 4. But that film obviously has also been moved. You have other films that have been moved in different slots down the line, right? The Flash is going to go November 4th of 2022 instead of June 3rd, right? So even films that are a couple years out are being pushed because of all the stuff going on right now. And the only one left standing at this point is Wonder Woman 84. And that film just does not seem to have a lot, for me at least, to want to be having any interest in. It's crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Let's see here. Peabody, who's a member, stop right now. Thank you very much. I need someone with a healing touch. I think it must be a lyric to something. That's probably a Van Halen lyric. And I am not an expert. Nathan Slay, what's going on? Peabody says, looks like Western Australia is going to keep its hard border till March of 2021. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, Peabody. Alice McCarthy is a member. Howdy. Oh, didn't just stopping by. Got home from the hospital today. My back is sore as heck from surgery. Well, hey, I'm so glad you were able to have the surgery. Glad that it was successful. Praying for you, man. Praying for your quick recovery. Thanks for stopping by, man. Get better soon. I hope that the surgery helps. Soul Assassin in the chat as well. How's it going? Father Christopher Miller, hail to you, Father. How's it going? A person in the chat. How's it going? Let us see here. Tina B is telling everyone to smash that like button. And yes, YouTube, do not act up, please, on the Valkyrie. Please do not act up on her. That would not be good. All right, chat has jumped on me like it tends to do. And let's see where we left off in the chats. Luckily, no comments were skipped. That's always a good thing. Crazy Cat Guy, thank you for the $5 super chat, says, hail Odin, some cheddar for your pizza. Well, thank you very much, man. I appreciate that. Nothing like a little cheddar for the pizza. Very delicious. I actually prefer less cheddar on my pizza. More pepperonis, please. Thank you. Electric Barbarella 27, thank you for also donating a $5 super chat, and says, The Matrix was a blatant ripoff of GITS and Akira. The rest of the Wachowskis' work stunk when they had to be creative on their own. Yeah, absolutely. And really, to be honest, only the first Matrix film was any good. It was the only film that they made that was any good at all. In fact, I can't think of any. And I honestly can't think of any other films that they've done, to be perfectly honest. Let me look up their filmography. Because, again, other than the first Matrix film, I can't think of anything. Good Lord, man. Gosh, they're insane. They're insane. Of course, Wikipedia is calling them by their fake names, but it's what it is. Anyway, let's see what their Wikipedia says. Let's skip all the crap about so-called being able to change your gender, which is, again, completely ridiculous. Let's see what the films they've done. Assassins, Bound, not seen it at all. The first Matrix, yeah, great. Let's see. They did V for Vendetta. They were actually second unit directors. Interesting. They were a part of writing and producing that. Speed Racer, which I never saw. Some people have said good things about it. Ninja Assassin was so bad, it was funny. Like, so bad it was good. Cloud Atlas was pretentious as hell. Jupiter Ascending was complete crap. And Matrix 4, apparently it's Lana only. I don't know what his real name's supposed to be, but apparently it's just Lana that's directing it. So none of it sounds like they've done anything worth of note. Basically, the best thing that they have done has been the first Matrix film back in 1999. So it's been 21 years, and you've only done one good movie. And as Electric Barbarella points out, it was a ripoff of other films, of other better films. Oh, Lordy. Insane times we're living in, insane times. All right, let me catch up on where I left off on the YouTube. Let me check up now with my D-Laugh fam, make sure everything's going on and everything is going swimmingly over there as well. So let's see. JKD Box says, a Bill Cosby movie, it was a flop. Oh, okay, gotcha. That was for the context, Leonard. I had no idea he was ever in a film called Leonard. Camden High says, a two-parter, says, finally watched Train to Busan, that I won from you, thanks. Excellent film, watched the English dub, felt the voice actors did a great job capturing the emotion of the characters. Dude, no. You gotta watch it in the original language with the subtitles, man. It's not that fast dialogue. It really isn't that fast. You can watch it with the subtitles. Trust me, it's better that way. Especially that little girl. That little girl deserves an Oscar for that performance. Absolutely. Bad person, you bigot, says JKD Buck. Of course. JKD Buck, thank you also for the lemon donation. I very much appreciate it. Peabody says, did you break your seat? No. So that chair I have not used in a long time. If you pay attention to my streams, I haven't used that in months. But I was going to try it because I stopped using it because I was having back pain every time I did. And I figured that because I got my seat cushion that I could try it again. And it's not good. I'm going to need to get a new chair at some point because this chair is fine. But it's kind of also a little bit broken now because the way it seats, it doesn't really support my back that well. Yeah, that's the reason why it's behind me. Peabody says, seat is social distancing. Yes, it is. It knows what's up. Phonemo, apparently Bond moved, which I forgot was even coming out. So yeah, exactly. Yeah, that film, I think, moved even before all of the more recent shifts. But yeah, that film also has moved into 2021. I think that's going to be March or April of 2021. So good riddance to me. Philadelphia says, I hate racing gaming chairs. Yeah, I mean, I got it because I was told it was comfortable. And it was for a little bit. And it didn't last. So I'm gonna have to find I like the smaller ones. They're easier to handle. I just need one that's just a little bit more robust. But that might be something I have to get in the future. JKD Buck says, "Oh, and you don't speak Korean?" I do not. It'd be really awesome to learn a language like that, but sadly, I do not have it. Let us see. Jumping back now over to YouTube at 7 o'clock. Jeff says, the re-release of Alita is picking up steam. Cinemark AMC are selling tickets already. What do you think? I already gave my thoughts on it. Again, I'm a huge fan of Alita. It's a great film. If you don't have it, I recommend you buy it. If you've never watched it, I recommend that you see it. If it's playing in a theater near you, I recommend you see it as well. I'm not going to be a major person behind the campaign, though. And the reason why is because, to me, I think people need to stop living in La La Land with it. Again, I hope and pray for a sequel. I really do. But unless you have a direct line to James Cameron, you're not going to get it. And even if you do get it, it's going to be under the Disney umbrella. And I don't trust them. And if you're going to tell me, in all honesty, that you trust Disney with Alita Battle Angel, with a worthy sequel, doesn't matter who's behind it, doesn't matter who's in the movie. If Disney's behind it, are you honestly going to tell me that you trust them? And if you do, hey, good on you. I'm glad that you can have faith in them. I can't. I cannot have a single cent of faith that they would do it right. So at this point, as I said, I would rather there not be a sequel. If it means that the only way to get it is to have Disney do it. No, thank you. No, thank you. So I will not be doing an active campaign for it. Again, I'll retweet it because I want people to go see it. I want people to support it, but not for that reason. Let us see here. Orange Chat Reviews at 701 says, hey there, Odin. Rosetta says, hi, she can't make it. Yeah, praying for Rosetta. Obviously, she's been feeling a lot of pain recently. So shout out to Rosetta Allen. Nathan Slay at 701 says, interesting how your camera's color was black and white. I thought the live stream was a horror special. No, it was the white balance. I had moved my camera around earlier because I was cleaning my screen. And I was trying to make sure the bolts were tight because it was moving a little bit too much. And I thought that it may not have been the exact tightness that it should have been. And so at some point then it must have disconnected the camera. And whenever it disconnects, it doesn't save the settings. So I have to reset the white balance, which is very sad. Let's see. Forever Sci-Fi is a member. How's it going? Waiting for the Drunk. Laura says, do you think there is any collusion between Governor Newsom and the major Hollywood studios keeping California locked down that will kill the theaters and studios can sell directly to customers? Laura, I don't think so, but you know what? It wouldn't surprise me. It really would not surprise me at all because when you think about it, one, this would obviously give studios the excuse to not have to worry about putting their movies out in theaters, regardless of any contracts that they've made with those theater chains, because if the theaters aren't open, that means that they can still move forward if they want to. I'm sure that there's a loophole in any contracts that they might have. The other thing that I'm looking into is the fact that, remember, there was that court case in New York where a district judge said basically that studios could potentially buy theaters. I think you could see this as an opportunity for them to try and almost on purpose shut down major theaters, have major theater chains sell off in mass different theaters across the country, and then who can come in and afford to prop up those theaters? The studios. It would not surprise me if we saw the studios get involved in exhibition once again and take over some of the theaters once again. Now, I think that might be something that would eventually go to a place like the Supreme Court, but I would not be surprised by that at all, Laura, because what's going on right now, right? Everything's on the table, right? Everything can happen. Anything can happen. Murphy's Law. If it can happen, it will happen. And so at this point, I honestly do believe that there is a chance for any of that to occur. And so if you were going to tell me that there was collusion between those two, I would agree. I honestly think that no matter what the intentions are, it's definitely political. At this point, there just seems to be so much proof that it has to be political. When you look at the hospitalization rate, when you look at the death rate, when you look at all the numbers, these lockdowns don't make any damn sense at all. None. There's no logic behind them at all, which means that if there's no logic behind it, it has to be political, and therefore it is. So yeah, I saw that you had tweeted out earlier, and I retweeted it to recall Governor Newsom, and I hope California gets its act together and does it. I really hope they do. That would be amazing to hear, because Newsom's one of the worst. You put him and Cuomo together, dear Lord, they've been the worst in this entire thing because they've shut everything down, and they've killed the U.S. economy. Even though the U.S. economy is starting to come back slowly, they're the ones that are really holding it back from moving forward at all, because obviously they've got large population centers, etc. But seriously, it's just, it's crazy. Super, what's going on? Super says, hey, what is up, my dude? How's it going, Super? James Roa is in the chat as well. How's it going? Runt21, how's it going? Glad to see you here. We've got 66 people watching. Please smash that like button here on YouTube. I appreciate it very much so. Gunnar, Renee, I think I pronounced that right, maybe. Thank you very much for the super chat. And says, some AMCs are running Alita the same weekend as Cinemark. As long as Robert Rodriguez and Kalogridis writes, Cameron protects it from the boardroom's bad ideas, it might possibly be good, maybe. That's the thing, though. It's a maybe, and I don't think he's going to do it. Here's the reason why. The first movie was protected because Disney had no involvement. The only way this film gets made is not only from Cameron's money, it's going to need Disney's money too. And remember, Disney is going to want to work with Cameron. Cameron's going to want to work with Disney, because remember, Disney is the one helping him get his whole damn Pandora 10-film slate done and completed. So it's like he owes them in a lot of ways. And it's like they owe him in a lot of ways, depending on how you look at it. So I see where you're coming from. I do. I honestly see where you're coming from. But if Disney is involved in any way whatsoever, I don't trust it. I'm not willing to have that risk happen. I don't want to get excited for an Alita sequel just to see it go woke, just to see a character that is strong on her own all of a sudden become a strong whammon. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that character get politicized, and I honestly think it would if Disney had any piece of the pie. And at this point, they would kind of have to, because of the relationship they currently have with James Cameron and the freaking Avatar universe. But Gunnar, thank you for the super chat, man. And again, I hope you're right. I want to be wrong. I would love to be wrong on this. I really would. I would love to be wrong. But as I said, please point to a franchise that Disney has gotten its hands on in the more recent years that hasn't been affected in one way or the other for the worse. There's few and far between examples, I would say. I would argue. All right. Let's see. Still over on the YouTube, I believe. Yes. Nathan Slay says, I really hope that you're doing well. I'm really happy for you about your new son. Totally understand if this is your last stream for a while. Yeah, so update. Things are okay. Everyone's healthy. But Freya not in a position yet, not ready for labor physically. So please keep her in your prayers. Again, she's fine, baby's fine. They're both healthy. But obviously it's just very trying on her because she was looking forward to having him this week. Looks like it'll probably be next week. So there is a chance that I will be on Friday Night Tights this week, and there's a chance that I might have a Saturday stream as well. Because it looks like we'll be going in Monday instead of, we were supposed to be going in Thursday night of this week. Now it looks like we'll be going in Monday of next week instead. So I'll keep y'all posted on that for sure. And definitely keep Freya in your prayers because it is something where both of us we want to meet our son, and as long as he and her are healthy, I'm happy. But yeah, it's definitely been something that's been a little bit harder. So, but thank you very much, Nathan Slay, for the kind words. I appreciate it. Let us see. J-Rod, the beer guru. What's going on, J-Rod? Says, hail Odin and his Valkyries. Hail to you, J-Rod. Glad to see you here. Fable Narrative, Tactic 705. Hail, I see your beard has grown and Odin on it. Has it now? Has it now? Are you sure? Forever Sci-Fi is a member. My local Regal theater was staffed by teenagers with a disabled man taking tickets. Because of his scooter and condition, there probably weren't too many other jobs that he could do. Forever Sci-Fi, thank you. Thank you. And yeah, my local AMC is the exact same. One of my theaters, which is open 3 days a week now, one of the ticket takers is also someone that's disabled, and he's in a wheelchair, and all he can do is tear tickets. People don't understand. People cannot get it through their thick skulls that even though we can complain about the movie-going experience, and believe me, there's legitimate things to complain about, the jobs that theaters offer are very unique because the hours are much more flexible than any other job that you can work at. The work that you're doing can be much more open to all kinds of people. And when theaters are closing and when jobs are being lost, it is having people like those people that you just mentioned, right? Whether it's teenagers getting their first job, having to work around school schedules, which can be already hard in the first place, or people with disabilities not being able to get work. I mean, think about it for a second, just for a second. Don't you think that ticket taker, the one disabled, getting to have interaction with people on a daily basis, don't you think that that's going to have a positive impact on his life or her life? I think it will. I've had great conversations with a guy at my local AMC, and he just loves it. He loves talking with people. He loves talking movies. And to have someone talk to you like you're a real human being, as sad as it is to say that, though, right? But again, that is what these kinds of jobs allow for. And that's why it really does, like, you all know, there's a lot of things that I can, laugh off and joke about, but one thing that just keeps on pissing me off, and I had someone do it today in the comment section saying, oh, AMC's owned by China, good riddance. And I'm like, seriously, you don't even understand what you're saying. You honestly have not one iota of the lives that are going to be impacted by that decision to close theaters down and to limit hours, etc. Not one iota of information. So Forever Sci-Fi, thank you very much for that comment, man, because yes, you were absolutely correct. Mike Drop, how's it going? And please, Mike Drop, I know that you were having some connection issues, but do not spam. I think that was just because of the connection, but just in case. Nathan Slay tagged says, I saw John Wick 3 on Saturday night. I really, really like it and think it's the best action of the series. I like it more than John Wick 2, but I think the first is the best. Yeah, the way that I always describe it is that the first one's the best all-around film. The second one has the best story, just the best lore, the best behind the scenes. Just you learn so much more about the character and the universe, and I just love that. And then 3, I think, has the best action. But that's just, of course, my opinion. Sasha Neon says, Hail Asgard, booyah for Texas, full of good people, indicting Netflix. I heard about that. Yes. So for that terrible, disgusting movie that came out on Netflix, right, that had a lot of controversy behind it, Texas, and it does not surprise me that it's coming from Texas, they apparently have indeed brought up charges or indictments against Netflix for that movie. And all I can say is thank God. Gold Fox 177. Thank you. It's Trap Productions. How's it going? 13th Warrior, Tag 707. Some of this reminds me of the anger directed against Japanese core in the 90s. Countries undergoing economic growth due to a lot of investing. It is a little different since China equals commie. Yeah. And here's the thing. I am fine showing anger and frustration against the communists in China, against the government leaders in China. But a lot of the people there are innocent, are being forced to live the way that they are. Imagine living in a society where your internet is controlled, where you don't know what's going on outside of your borders. That's communism. So it's hard for me to even blame them for not rising up because they may not even know any better because of the amount of control that the government has over there. And so, again, I understand it. And I will be critical, right? Disney being in bed with the Chinese, not Chinese companies, Chinese government, right? Going in line with the commies, and then specifically, not just China, but being connected with the concentration camps in China. That's the big thing to go after, right? And so it's not the same, though, when you look at the different theaters around the world, right? AMC, just because a stake of it happens to be owned by China, or not even by China, but by a Chinese company, does not mean all of a sudden it's like, oh, good, I hope everyone loses their job. No, that's ridiculous. That's sick. Gunnar Renee Oi, thank you again for another super chat. Says, DC didn't believe in Joker, so they went for a co-financing deal with Village Roadshow Braun. Cheaper for them, but they lost out on most of that sweet profit. Good health to your family. Thank you very much, Gunnar. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, that's a great point to be made. The difference, I would say, is that Cameron, obviously, I think, would pony up some money for a Alita sequel, and I think Disney would also pony up some money as well. And, you know, at the end of the day, right, you could put in probably $100 million or so and be able to get that film made with the effects being up to par, most likely. So, yeah, here's the thing, right? It would be awesome if Cameron said, hey, I'm on a break from Avatar. By the way, that's never going to happen. He's never going to go on a break from Avatar because he's going to make Avatar until he dies. Like, seriously, look at his slate, look at his schedule. He's making all these films around the same time. He is going to be living in Pandora for the next 10, 15 years. But let's assume that there was a magical little space of time that automatically opened up. And he said, I want to take this story with Robert Rodriguez. I'm going to get some co-financing and we're going to make Alita 2. It'd be awesome. It'd be great. That's not what's going to happen, though. Again, if anything happened at all, it would be Cameron half-heartedly saying, yeah, sure, let's do Alita. I have the rights for it. That's okay. Disney, you come in. You pay for some of this. I'm still making Avatar. Robert Rodriguez comes back in. All the other actors come in. But Disney then has a say in the matter as producers. Becomes a problem. Becomes a problem, for sure. All right, Nathan Slay, what exactly is an ice cream donation? If you're over on DLive, there is something, it's cryptocurrency run, and their currency is called essentially Lino, and basically you have lemons, and it's just another name for their currency. And so a ice cream donation is 5 lemons, or 10 lemons, I forget. Yeah, ice cream is 10 lemons, a diamond is 100 lemons, Ninjagini is 1,000. Ninjet is 10,000 lemons. And then the value of those lemons changes because, obviously, as you all know, cryptocurrency value changes as well over time. All right. James Dashe, what's going on? Says, hey, Odin, do you think movie theaters will survive going into 2021? I think a lot of them won't. I think a lot of theaters are either going to have to shut down completely or, at the very least, you're going to have some major major theater chains sell off a lot of their theaters just to try and recoup something and stay alive somehow. Father Chris Miller, hail to you, Father, says, I say we all give him ice cream. That'd be great. I love ice cream. Difference is that I'm not going to sing over on YouTube because it's not the same. Let's see. Marcus Cato, thank you for a $2 super chat. and says, thanks for the live stream. Thank you, Marcus Cato. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. And then also Gunner, thank you for another super chat as well. I'm assuming that was a super sticker, so when I get to it in the chat, I'll give it a proper shout. But Gunner, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. Pod Racing Palpatine in the chat. Just Joe 47 in the chat as well. Nathan Slay, I hate Avatar because it has stolen James Cameron from us. The same guy who made the Terminator movies and Aliens is gone. Yeah, I mean, that's one reason to hate it. There's a lot of reasons to hate Avatar. Especially when you look to that plot. J-Rod the Beer Guru at 710. I would love to see it lead in theaters again, but here in New California, New Mexico, we are still locked down hard. I would hate to see a Disney Alita. Yeah, me too. Me too. I would hate to see that. I do not trust them one bit with the Alita property. Not one. And you know they would change something. Lord Toth, get that pineapple off the pizza. Disgusting. How dare you? How dare you? Jeremy Swiggs, it didn't have identity politics and people liked it, so of course they won't continue it. Exactly. But here's the other thing. There's two sides to that, Jeremy Swiggs. Because one, they're going to say, oh, this wasn't political, this wasn't feminist enough for us, and so therefore, no, we're not going to continue it. Or two, hey, it wasn't feminist enough, so how about we make the sequel and then we'll fix it. We'll fix it by making it more feminist, by making it more woke identity politics, which no one wants. Not a single person wants that. Jan Peter Grayland, what's going on? Welcome to the chat. John Salazar also in the chat. 13th Warrior, Alita would be a good golden parachute for Kathleen Kennedy. Screw Kathleen Kennedy. Let's see. Tina says, Leonard Part 6 was a dreadful movie by Bill Cosby when he was still a hot property. Ah, so this is before the the misconduct. Super says, sadly, I think you're right. I know we've had the conversation before, and I know it's unlikely, but if Avatar flops, I'm going to laugh so hard. And seriously, I hope it does. But even if it does, here's the problem, though. Because he's filming these movies all around the same time, if Avatar 2 flops, 3's still going to have to come out because it's going to be done. I mean, Disney's put so much money into these movies, assuming that they're going to be massive hits. I don't know what they're going to do if it doesn't match up to the first film, and I don't think it's going to match up. Now, could it make $1 billion since it's coming out, end of 2021 or 2022, whenever the hell it's been moved to? It could. It might be able to. But, again, if theaters don't last, if theaters don't survive, who knows what it's going to look like? The box office, I think, is honestly going to be forever changed. I don't think you're going to see the numbers like we have been seeing. Let's see. J-Rod the Beer Guru says, Leonard Part 6 is a nice 80s sci-fi cult film. Sci-fi? Really? Bill Cosby was in a sci-fi movie? That's weird. Laura, waiting for Nerdrotic, says, as much as I enjoyed The Boys, hearing Nerdrotic break down the show's woke themes has changed my perspective on the show. Yeah, the most recent episode for sure has, definitely bothered me more so than other episodes. Because all the other episodes I felt like had a pretty good balance, and then the more recent one just didn't. I'm still willing to give the show a shot, though, because I really still think that there is a balance. And as I mentioned last time on the Sunday show, right, on the Chosen of Valhalla stream, I am just such a big fan of Carl Urban. So I'm gonna watch it for Carl Urban for now. That could change, but I'm gonna watch it for Carl Urban for now. Pod Racing Palpatine, thank you very much for the super chat, and says, to quote Shakespeare, pineapple belongs on pizza as bacon belongs in porridge. In other words, it's good. No, Shakespeare never said that. Get out of here with that garbage. Get out of here with those lies. How dare you? How dare you? Pod Racing Palpatine in the chat said, I believe Leonard Part 6 was Bill Cosby film. It's funny how 7 people will say the same thing in a row. It's like they don't even read the chat. I appreciate it. Nathan Slay, this is the worst year ever for movies, 100%. It's definitely one of the worst years for sure, because there just haven't been any movies. That's the biggest problem. And so is it really fair to say that it's the worst year for movies when no movies have been released? I mean, I don't know. I think an argument could be made there, technically. Jeremy Swiggs, I can't stand Kristen Wiig just as much as Molly Shannon and Channing Tatum. I like Channing Tatum. I'm not going to lie. I like Channing Tatum. It has to be in the right movie, though. He can be annoying in some of the things he does. Molly Shannon, again, she was okay on SNL and is okay in as a supporting role. But yeah, Kristen Wiig to me just grinds my gears. Forever Sci-Fi 714 says Kristen Wiig was okay in The Martian, but that's because she was a side character. Yeah, the fact that I forgot she was even in The Martian goes and tells you, yeah, that's why it was okay, because she was a very forgettable character. Tina says 2023. Now I've been hearing context Pattinson Batman, so that might be a rumor. And again, I'm not saying that it's not true, but I go based on what has been reported. And so far what's been reported is that it's 2022. So if there is a hard source on that, great. If it's someone claiming rumors, I will not run with that just as of yet, unless I was making a rumor video, which I am not. As I'm barely even making regular videos anymore. Gareth Tharp in the chat, what's going on? Forever Sci-Fi, there is only one Matrix movie, says. Yes, I agree. Amen to that, Forever Sci-Fi. I agree. Someone says, I'm throwing lightning bolts. I'm so early in the chat. This is crazy. It's 7:46. Wait, I'm 30 minutes behind? Oh my goodness. Wow. I don't think I've ever been that far behind in a while. Nathan Slay, I want John Wick 4 more than Matrix 4. No one, I don't think anyone really wants Matrix 4. And there might be people out there that say they want it, but let's be honest. If you had to choose between John Wick 4 and Matrix 4, John Wick 4. Come on, people. Come on now. Let's be honest. Nitrium, what's going on, good sir? Says, hey, hello, dear, my niece and nephew have finally vacated the building. Nice. Very, very nice. Blake St. Clair in the chat. What's going on, Blake St. Clair? Rob D. Hey, Odin, do you like White Castle hamburgers? I just got back from White Castle. I don't think I've ever had them before, to be honest. So I can't say, but I don't really need the mini burgers. I want a nice, big, juicy burger. That's what I want. That's all I want. That's all I need. All right, chat has jumped on me like it always does, and Gunnar indeed gave a sticker, and it was a delicious ice cream. And you know what? Because you donated it, I will say thank you, Gunnar, for the ice cream. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Alrighty. Let's see. Where did we leave off in the chat? So it looks like some comments may have been skipped. Again, it was around 7:17 or so. Looks like YouTube did. Not me. YouTube may have skipped about 10 minutes of comments. Says it's about 7:27 in the YouTube chat. And so I'm going to just find my place there. And then I'll jump back to DLive and catch up with my DLive fam. All right, cool. So it's 7:34 now in the chat. 7:48 in real life. Yeah, so a lot of comments may have been skipped. If you've been asking a lot of comments, maybe you don't have to repost it. But if it was a comment, your first one ever, and you tagged correctly, and I didn't read it, and it was in that 7:16 to 7:34 time slot, go right ahead. All right. Jumping now into the DLive fam. Let's see. Philly the Hobbit. Got that one already. Daniel Thorne says, no movies until 2021, and after today, no Odin until 2021. That's not true, Daniel Thorne. I never said that. I never said that I was done in 2020. I said there was a possibility. And actually, there's more of a chance that I'll be around actually for more than one stream. Favorite Van Halen song? I was never a huge fan of, like, I'm not a fan enough to know their songs by name. I could listen to the song and recognize and say, oh yeah, I've heard that song before. I want to say, I just want to make sure this is right because I don't want to piss off any. Yeah, the song Right Now by Van Halen probably is my favorite because the piano intro to that is freaking boss. Right now, so tomorrow. So good. It's everything. Sorry. Camden High's State of Texas and died on Netflix. Yeah, we talked about that earlier. Let us see here. JKD Buck, thank you for the 2 lemon donations. Peabody, thank you for the ice cream donations. Camden High, thank you for the 2 ice cream donations. Daniel Thorne, thank you for the 1 ice cream donation. Appreciate it. Phonemo, are people even going to care about movies? Great question. That have been pushed back so often. Here's the thing, right? If you get people excited for a movie and then it gets close to that movie and then you move it, you can only do that so much before people say, you know what, yeah, I'm done. Why would I be excited for that? And then when eventually it does come out, because people are going to say, I'm just going to assume it's going to leave again. And, you know, if it does actually not move and it actually does come out, they might just be like, oh, yeah, well, you know, I'm over it. They're training people to stay at home. They're training people to just be happy with streaming and to be happy with at-home entertainment. And hey, if that's your bag, great. Again, I don't knock anyone that enjoys their entertainment at home. Not at all. But it does have a cost. Daniel Thorne then says, this year is headed to be one of the worst years for mental health as well. Seriously, Daniel Thorne, it's awful. It has been awful for it. And that's why, as I said, I would not hate if citizens of various states sued their governors. Looking at you, New York and California, I would say sue them for the lockdowns. Seriously. Michigan, you already have, because the Supreme Court stated that Governor Whitmer, right, Governor Whitmer of Michigan, that her orders were unconstitutional. They were against Michigan state law. And so now you actually have a shop suing her for shutting them down. I want individual citizens to sue their governors. And if you're like, I don't know about that, no, go ahead. Please, sue them. Sue them. What can they do them? We hate you, governors. Because, yeah, you're right. Because of their shutdowns, not only were they ineffective, they destroyed economies, they destroyed jobs, they destroyed businesses, and they destroyed mental health. I think they deserve to be sued. What say you? I think so. Camden Heiss, no problem at all, man. It happens. Again, we fall behind on the chat. Dana Thorne says, do you think the Texas Netflix indictment will stick? It could. I think there's enough there because of the images are pretty clear. Just saying. Images are pretty clear and pretty disturbing. So I sure hope they stick. The Price is Right review. What's going on? Thank you for the $5 super chat. And yeah, we've already talked about this, but since it was a super chat, I'll read it. It says, off topic, breaking news. Again, this technically broke a while ago at this point, actually. So Eddie Van Halen has passed away at 65. Rest in peace to a legendary musician. Been a while, good sir. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. Price is Right review. Thank you very much for the super chat. All right. Rob D at 734 says, as long as Freya and baby Thor are fine, my mom told me I was originally due November 18th, but it ended up being November 25th. Thanksgiving Day, 1993. Nice. Yeah, that's my mindset too. What's really cool too is that depending on when baby boy is born, he's getting very, very close to one of my siblings' birthday. So that could actually be kind of cool. And they could have a closer relationship because they would be sharing a birthday, or at the very least be within about a day or two of each other at this point. So that's actually kind of exciting. There's actually a couple of, as you know, I'm a Catholic, and there's a couple of feast days because the original due date was actually tomorrow. And I was excited because if he was born tomorrow, it would have been on the feast of Our Lady of the Rosary, which would have just been very special for me. But now there is a good chance that it could be closer to like the 13th of October. And if that is the case, that is another Marian feast day because that is Our Lady of Fatima. And that, I believe, is also the anniversary of when the last apparition of Our Lady of Fatima, the one where the sun danced in the sky in front of 70,000 people. I want to say Gary's actually talked about that because it's one of these weird conspiracies that is not really that much of a conspiracy because it's been confirmed secondhand by both believers and non-believers. So it's been kind of interesting. Let us see here. Bruce, who's a member, says, same here. The theater I go to, the ticket taker is in a motorized scooter and can only pull apart tickets. And yes, I always spoke to him, even if it was just a thank you. Yeah, because again, they live for that. You know, I worked at a theater for 3 years and there were a lot of retired people there. And guess what? That's what kept them going. I've seen what happens when someone, especially who's older and retired, stops working. And it's not fun and it's not good. I remember when one of my teachers from it was a school run by the Christian Brothers, which is a religious order, and he was very old, got to have been in his 80s, and he was sharp as a tack. He did crossword puzzles every day. He was always in the classroom, and he was a great teacher. And all of a sudden, because he was an old school brother, right? You know, remember back in the day, you know, the sisters used to slap people on the hand with the rulers and everything. The brothers, even when I was going to school with them, they would, you know, if we were acting up, they'd like knock us on the back of the head. Maybe they'd pull us up by our sideburns. And guess what? We stopped. We listened, right? And it wasn't abusive. Didn't physically hurt us or permanent damage or anything like that. But he did this to someone, and their family decided to sue the school. And one of the repercussions was that he had to stop teaching. He had to retire. And guess what? Within a year, he had passed away. Gee, I wonder why. Maybe because you took the one thing that was keeping him going, keeping him alive, away from him. So yeah, I take it very personally when people laugh. When people laugh at these places getting closed and getting canceled. It pisses me off. It really does. All righty. Lorto says, God bless Texas. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. No, I'm not a father yet. Hopefully next week is right now the timeline. Hannibal Grimm, how's it going? Glad to see you in the chat. Baxter is in the chat as well. Glad to see you here. Let us see. Any more tags or any new names? Robert Frey, what's going on, good sir? Glad to see you here. All right, let's see. Father Christopher Miller, hail to you, Father, who's a member, says, should we tell Odin about Ghost Dad or send him to the movie and let him summer? Ghost Dad? Is there a movie called Ghost Dad? I don't know how I feel about this. Nick, thank you very much for subscribing to the channel. Appreciate it, man. Grandmaster Yoda, how can Avatar 2 make money on a budget of $450 million in a COVID-19 world? Here's the thing, Grandmaster Yoda. Basically, James Cameron was given $1 billion to make, I think, five different Avatar movies. So I think the production budget for each film would actually be closer to around $250 million, not $450 million. So I think your numbers are wrong there. Last time I checked, though. Last time I checked, he was given $1 billion to make so many, and I want to say it was around 5 movies. So that would break down to be not as much as that. Super says, some don't know better and others don't think they need it. Studied their social credit for a project, and in interviews, some said they didn't mind it because they were good citizens. Talking there about China. Yeah, again, when you're born and raised being taught this, because what do you think their education system's like? It's state-run, which means it's communist state-run. And so if you're taught from a young age to believe this, believe that, it stays with you. Waiting for Neutrotic, Laura says, as Lincoln said, South Carolina sucks. Well, we all know your thoughts on South Carolina. Much love, Laura. We had a lot of fun on the Chosen stream this past weekend. If you have not seen it, it's still live on the channel. It's episode 192 of the podcast as well. Blake St. Clair, to quote Julius Caesar, et tu pineapple pizza, trust the Romans. Gosh, damn you. Damn you all with these fake quotes. Hate you. Nitrim, thank you. Yes, pineapple on pizza equals sick. Yes. Alice McCarthy, Bill and Ted 4. I don't know. I haven't even seen Bill and Ted 3, so I couldn't say. Hyper X13 says, hi, my brother. How's it going? Hyper X13. How's it going, good sir? Hopefully you're doing well. All right. The chat has jumped on me on the YouTube. Let us see. No comments have been skipped. Thank the Lord. Timothy Wolf in the chat. How's it going? Let me check now with my D-Live fam. Let us see. And you're wrong, Captain Adam. I do not love pineapple on my pizza. All right, and with that little break, let me find a link real quick. So getting a little serious, and then we'll go back to the chat, and then we'll end with some positivity. But a family member of mine, part of my extended family, had a friend, and they have recently had a loss in their family. It was actually a terrible freak accident, and some of you may have even heard about it because it was actually here in Tennessee. There was a group that was they were on the Ocoee River. They were whitewater rafting, and the man was in a terrible accident. And actually, it was a freak accident that put him in a coma. And unfortunately, they had to take him off of life support. And it's really sad because they were their names are Kelly and Armani. They were 2 weeks away from getting married, and they were going on this trip as a way of kind of almost like a pre-honeymoon to celebrate. And they had a child together, and I want to say their child was about maybe 2 weeks. No, sorry, almost 2 years old. So it's a terrible thing that happened, and again, the reason why I said you may have heard about it is because normally when we think of water rafting and an accident and someone going into a coma, you would think, oh, he may have fell out, hit his head on a rock. What actually happened was one of the paddles essentially hit him in the carotid artery, and actually he bled out, and that's what caused him to go unconscious. And so what I'm going to do, because I told my my family member that I would do this, is they have a GoFundMe to help support them. They've already raised $45,000. Their goal is $75,000, just because of just incredible support. And just to read through it just a little bit as well, it says here, friends and family need your help. This sweet family was staying with us in the mountains this weekend when an unfortunate freak accident occurred. This young couple were enjoying a weekend together in the mountains. They went rider rafting on the Ocoee. About halfway through the trip, the raft struck a rock, causing a huge jolt. Armani's T-handle of his oar hit him in the neck, causing injury to his basilar artery, resulting in a massive basilar stroke. So it wasn't his carotid, it was his basilar. He was life-flighted to Erlanger Trauma Center, where he remains on life support and unresponsive. Sweet family is from Florida, and they have no means in Tennessee. They have a 2-year-old daughter and no family or friends in the area. As most of you know, this is a close to home for our family. If you can give anything, please do so. They are in their early 20s and have no support here. Anything will help. And then they gave an update on October 1st. Says, friends and family have an update from Kelly about Armani. They're weaning Armani off of the seizure medications over the next 4 days. At that point, they will do testing to detect any brain activity. This will determine whether if he has brain activity or if he is 100% brain dead. If there is no brain activity, he will be pronounced dead at the time. Please keep the family in your hearts and prayers, and pray for a miracle for this sweet, God-loving family. Kelly and Armani were supposed to be celebrating their nuptials next week. So again, they had started 2 weeks earlier. 2-year-old daughter, Gigi, this was their time that they had gotten away alone. This was the first time they had gotten away alone since her birth. So the first time they were alone in 2 years when the tragedy occurred, and that they would continue to raise the goal to fit their circumstances and to reach out to more. And so that was the last update on there. And again, since I have a family friend associated with it, last I heard was that they were taking him off of life support because there was no activity. And I imagine that they've not updated it because obviously they're probably going through a lot of hard times right now. So I'm just going to post the link. So I'm posting the link on DLive, and I'll go ahead and post the link also on YouTube as well. So again, if you are willing to potentially donate, please feel free to do so. I know that it would mean a lot to them. Again, young family. They were, again, not from this area. And so the reason why they're raising is because obviously it's going to be a financial burden on the young couple, also their family, right? They're not in the area. And so all of them are having to come in to visit, and, they're having to, spend money on hotels and on flights and on everything. And it's a tragic situation overall. And so if you can't give anything, if you could just keep them in your thoughts and your prayers, that would be very much appreciated. I know that my family member would be very appreciative of that. Yeah, it's a terrible thing that's happened. And I know that this community has always come together to help out people in need. And again, even if you can only give $1, or even if you can only just give your thoughts and prayers, whatever it is that you can give, either spiritually, emotionally, or even financially, if you can, would very much be appreciated. So thank you everyone for checking the link out, checking out, and supporting and praying. And again, just for their names again, if you want to add them to your prayers, it's Kelly and Armani. And I think that is something that is something that we could really do, and that's something that we can try and help this group out. And again, 849 donors raising $45,000 just is totally incredible. And they have a picture of the way in which he proposed to, in which Armani proposed to Kelly, up on there as well. And so it's a terrible thing. And my family member obviously is broken up about it. He's a firefighter, and he's lost friends before for a wide variety of reasons. And I know that this is hard on him. So thank you again for your love, for your support, and again for your thoughts and prayers would be great. So thank you for that, and thank you for also letting me have that moment to talk to y'all about that. So thank you. All right. So we'll go ahead and get back into the chat for just a little bit, and then we'll end it with something positive, because I actually received some baby gifts from some awesome people, and I want to shout them out. So we'll do that towards the end, but let's go ahead and catch things up. So Jonathan Aldridge, first off, again, sent a super chat and says, "Oh, no offense, but Western countries have state-run education systems also like state schools. How is the West different?" I think the main difference is that in China, for instance, right, in the communist run, they're taught from a young age to serve the party, right? Because in communist run countries, you have to essentially be a communist. And if you oppose the communist regime, then you will be thrown into prison, killed, etc. Or at the very least treated as a second-class citizen. Different in Western countries, specifically in America, where yes, you're taught things like history and mathematics and other general things, but you're not required to join any political party. You're not required to believe any one thing. Unfortunately, we're actually seeing a push for people to have to believe certain things, like gender ideology, for instance, and et cetera. But guess what? We're fighting against that. And here's the other thing. We can fight against that. We live in a country where we can actually shape our education system and have an impact on it, where in China, they don't have that ability. So there is a huge difference in that alone, is that we have the ability to not only speak out publicly against it, but also to actively fight and also to create change. So there's a huge difference, Jonathan, but I appreciate the comment nonetheless. All right, so back over to YouTube. Tina says, Gary, Clownfish, and Doomcock have mentioned 2023 for Bat Pat, but I'm not sure where they're getting the info. The rumors are that behind the scenes are a huge mess. Yeah, and that's the thing. And again, I want to be very clear. I'm not throwing anybody under the bus with this, but we hear these rumors all the time. Sometimes they're true. Sometimes there's just really not enough evidence to suggest that it is true. So that's why I tend to go just by what the official report is, unless there is a lot of leaks, a lot of different people, a lot of different sources saying a lot of the same things. So yeah, I'm going to hold off on it being 2023. I would say if it was 2023, that would have more to do with the state of theaters, and they want that movie to be incredibly successful, than it would be with anything else. But again, I could be wrong on that. I will not claim to have any information that they don't have. That's just my own thought. Justin Fountain, how's it going? Glad to see you in the chat. Bruce says, OMG, love myself a good White Castle slider. Nice. Keck44 in the chat, how's it going? Tina says, they're also reporting that the production may be shut down for a third time, as Britain may be shutting down again. Bad Pat movie. Yeah, see, if things like that happen, then you could potentially see it get delayed, right? Absolutely, that could happen. And at this point, right, here's the thing. If countries start shutting down full tilt again, just like if states start shutting down full tilt again, in a lot of these, again, free Western countries, I think you're going to see a lot of people say, hell no. Because we've already seen the impact that this has had on mental health, on businesses, and I don't think people are going to stand for it anymore. You can only push people's patience and generosity so much. HyperNext13, hi brother, someone may have said this, where I'm late, but what'd you know? I knew Doom was going to get delayed. Oh, and most of us were able to pretty much think that it was going to get delayed eventually. We just didn't know when. Stephanie B, how's it going, Steph? How's it going, Steph? You know, if you tagged me, I'd be able to say hello. But a lot of things are happening. Sorry. Very, very sorry, Stephanie B. Slicer, your son will love pineapple on pizza and candy corn. Deus Vult. God wills it. I like your use of the Crusaders mark there. Hey, guess what? I like candy corn, so that would be fine. I'm not against candy corn. I am on team candy corn. In fact, I bought it last year during Halloween. I probably will buy it again this year. So, but pineapple on pizza, no. That's anathema in my house. It will not be allowed. Nathan Slay at 750. I mean, The Matrix is still an awesome action film. I just feel like it's not the best action movie. It's a solid one, right? Here's the thing: it's been tainted by by its own creators because they've decided to turn it into something that it really isn't. Eric K is in the chat. What's going on, good sir? Alice McCarthy says the last concert I went to was at Van Halen, and that is his favorite band. And he says right now is Sammy Hagar Years. Nice. Let's see here. As I said, I'm not as much of a, I don't have as much knowledge about the band. Liam Neeson's Chin is in the chat. Rowan Ginger Raven is in the chat as well. Hello. Joe Bag of Donuts here as well. Let's see. Super Titan says, and you know what's even crazier about that? Governor Whitmer essentially says she doesn't care and is still trying to push stuff through anyway. If that doesn't show true intent, yep. And guess what? Sue her, please. Because then if it goes to the Supreme Court, if the nomination of Amy Coney Barrett goes through, there's a very good chance that it won't be the governor that wins the case. And wouldn't that be amazing? Rob D, I live in New York, not the city though, thank God for that. And they want to guillotine Mayor de Blasio. I hope that they recall whatever legally they can do. I hope that happens. Bryant Barth, what do you think of The Godfather Part 1 and 2? Who's the main character, Vito or Michael? Michael's always the main character. Vito is a very strong character in the second movie, but Michael is the main character. And the abomination that is Part 3 confirms that fact. Let's see. Perth Comics, how's it going, good sir? Glad to see you here. Hypernex13, Back to the Future, Odin Family's version. Your son Thor travels back in time and sees your brother when he's a baby, like Marty with Uncle Joe. Yes. Yes, of course. October 13th, 2020. Maybe. We'll see. Nathan Slay says, so last week, Tina and Hyperen and I were thinking about making a Mission Impossible Pulp Fiction Live, Die, Repeat, Unbreakable crossover. That sounds way too complicated. Father, Christopher Miller says, I would love to see Gary discuss saints that are incorrupt. They just dug up Carlos Acutis. He'll be beatified Saturday, and he looks like he did 5 years ago. Nice. Yeah, I think I heard about that. I think I heard when that happened. There was like a news report that came by, which is awesome. Yeah, the Incorruptibles are insane. There's one that's amazing. Look it up. It's Blessed Imelda. I forgot her last name, but Blessed Imelda, who died, I want to say, in the 1300s or so, and still looks the same. It really is crazy. 13th Warrior, I have a firm belief one should always talk to and be friendly to staff at various businesses I visit. No ignoring via cell phone. Yeah, I agree too, for sure. Absolutely. Eric K, I will check it out. You could have been hit by friendly fire. What? Who? Eric K. What? I need I need some context. What do you mean? What do you mean? 84 people watching. Please smash the like button. I appreciate it. Slicer, whoever shakes this rattle, should they be worthy, shall wield the power of the Phantom Menace. Yes. By the way, the themes of the gifts I received are amazing. Super, exactly in my history class last semester, one of my classmates was 60 years old, educated, made a good living, retired, but wanted to go back to school to stay sharp and socialize. Yeah, exactly. Socialization, reading, and studying are ways to keep the brain active. Nick, how's it going? Says, I should have subbed long ago, but I kept forgetting. Well, glad to have you here. Nick Titan. Awesome Andy, what's going on? Tina B, you might have missed my earlier comment. Apologies if this is a dupe, but Ghost Dad, like Leonard Part 6, was another Bill Cosby disaster. Okay, yeah, I'm not really a Bill Cosby fanboy. And I guess in retrospect, that's a good thing. All right, the chat has indeed jumped once again, so let's see where we left off. So luckily, no comments have been skipped. It's always a good thing. But if we could slow down the chat a little bit, that would be fantastic. Let's jump back to D-Live now. Let's see. Candy Corn. Dana Thorne says, thoughts on the October surprise being an outbreak that causes shutdown of the government and more mandates. Here's the thing. I don't think they would realize what they were doing. If that is what happens, if several states are forced to shut down again by governors, of which many are going to be of the same party, I'm worried. I am honestly worried in our country. Because as I said, for me, as an example, I'm willing to do certain things, right? If a store asks me to wear a mask to enter into it, to shop, I'm going to do it. Because I'll be like, okay, sure, fine. However, there is a limit to what you can do. There is a limit to how much you can push someone. There is a limit to how long you can limit someone's interactions. And I think that if they try to shut down full-sale businesses, etc., once again, it's going to be awful. And I wouldn't want to be in the street anywhere when it happens. Tippy Tail McKitty, I appreciate that that Monty Python reference. And yes, every single one of them is sacred. You are correct. Thanatos Felicitas says, you can believe everything you see on the internet, says Abraham Lincoln. Ah, yes. Forever Sci-Fi, when you look at all of the indoctrination going on in colleges today and add in the fact that many of them get China money, things start to make sense. Yeah, I'm going to be honest, though. I think a lot of the indoctrination has less to do with China and has more to do with just idiots that have gotten hold of our academic system. I really do. Lorto says, LOL indeed. Hope Freya is doing okay with Thor on the way. She's doing okay. She's itchy belly, but other than that, sleep is the big thing that she needs right now. Forever Sci-Fi, thank you for being a member again. What about pizza on pineapple? Ooh. See, okay. Forever Sci-Fi. A pizza on a pineapple would make the pineapple better because it's pineapple. But a pineapple on a pizza would not make the pizza better. And so that's why they don't mix. They don't match in that direction. Apollomes Minion. What's up? It's a new name. CM Shazam. Is that supposed to be a variation of CM Punk? Is that a CM Punk image I see? Yes, CM Punk. Look in my eyes. What do you see? Cult of personality. He had the best. I preferred his first theme song, though, to be honest. Was it Fire Burns by Killswitch Engage? Great song. Man, if he came back to the ring, I'd start watching again. Brian Barth. Know what I find ironic about Star Wars? It started the Hollywood blockbuster, and then it ended the Hollywood blockbuster. I think that's technically wrong. And let me double check that. Because I want to say, by most accounts, people consider Jaws to be the first blockbuster. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure Jaws is often considered to be the first, technically. That's nitpicking, but I want to say that's the case. Then Felicitas says, there was a freak accident in hockey 20 years ago or so, and a skate sliced a goalie's neck. God, he survived because of an armed medic that was in the arena. That's, oh my gosh, that's insane. Let's see. Tita says, I don't even know. I know you're behind, but Steph has been here forever. Say hello to her. I said hello. Nathan Slay, I'm sorry to hear about. Yeah, no, again, yeah, definitely. Thank you very much for that. I really do appreciate it. Mr. TJ, thank you. Super says, that's horrible. Sorry to hear. Thank you for that. I really do appreciate again the love and support. And again, please do keep them if you're in your prayers. And again, if you missed it, their names are Kelly and Armani. And unfortunately, Armani was in a terrible accident. And again, this is a friend of one of my family members, one of my extended family members. And so they are running a GoFundMe to try and help them with the big cost as well is obviously being in the ICU, as you all know, costs a lot. And they're a young couple, which means, insurance is not going to be there. So once again, if you do want to support them, I'm going to post the link again in YouTube, and I'm going to go ahead and post it again in DLive as well. So again, that GoFundMe is to them, just to help them out, to give them some support. And again, even if you can't donate anything, again, even just some prayers would very, very much be appreciated. So thank you so very much. I see a couple people have donated, so thank you very much for that. I really do appreciate that. David, thank you very much, man. I really appreciate it. All right. Let's see. Let's see. Pod Racing Palpatine says, to quote Dickens, "It was the best of pizza. It was the best because of that sweet, sweet pineapple. Damn you, Pod Racing Palpatine. Damn you, Pod Racing Palpatine." Orange Review says, "Odin is Team Candy Corn. Hashtag cancel Odin." I've been on Team Candy Corn for a long time, man. Forever Sci-Fi says, "Candy corn is the unholy trinity of sugar, wax, and plastic." No, it's just sugar, man. It's just sugar. Yeah, I mean, it's not my favorite candy. I'm just going to put it out there, right? It's not my favorite candy, but I do like it. Here's the thing. It's sugar. If you say you don't like candy corn, it means you don't like sugar. And I know that's just not true. But yeah, candy corn's good. Super says, "I love you, man, but candy corn is wrong." No, candy corn is... Here's the thing, too. Candy corn is iconic. Candy corn is so essential for Halloween. You can't have Halloween without candy corn. I'm sorry. You can't change my mind on that. Candy corn is such a part of it. It's like one of the crucial candies for Halloween. It may not be your favorite candy for Halloween, but it is still a crucial candy, nonetheless. Come on now. Bryant Barth, "Seems that in Godfather 1, Vito seems like a main character due to the presence of Marlon Brando." Even then, though, he's, again, more of a supporting character. Let's see. Super, and he's right about New York, was listening to an episode of the Rubin Report. Apparently, de Blasio's approval rating is only 25%. His career is over. Good, because he's an idiot. He deserves to be kicked out. That's for damn sure. All right. So thank you all very much for slowing down just a little bit. Thank you. Forever Sci-Fi, "Candy corn, just a step above Double Bubble for Halloween treats." Double Bubble's great. It's bubble gum, dude. Yeah, the flavor doesn't last for long, but it's still delicious for like the 2 minutes that it does have flavor. Will Gentry is still soaking in that story. "I really wish I could help. That's criminally sad." Hey, Will Gentry, thank you very much. Again, just thoughts and prayers alone. I know that they're going to, my family member very much believes in the power of prayer. So even if you can't give financially, he will very much appreciate the prayers. And positive vibes and positive thoughts. So yeah, again, as I said, if you can give, great. If you can't, that's fine too. Obviously I know all of us are strapped in some way or another, right? Some of us are in different scenarios. Some of us are more well off. Some of us are not. And so again, I don't expect anything. But just to even think and to send positive thoughts, positive vibes, very much would be appreciated. Let's see. Nathan says, "Matrix is a ripoff of another movie with the same concept, and Lego Movie ripped off that one too. There are ripoffs everywhere." Well, at the end of the day, too, things eventually all become ripoffs of each other. Blaise St. Clair says, to quote Churchill, "We shall eat pineapple pizza on the beaches." Hold on. "We shall eat pineapple pizza on the beaches. We shall eat it on the landing grounds, eat pineapple pizza in the fields and in the streets," or so I'm told. And that was your terrible Churchill accent. Super. I think my comment got skipped. Was curious. I know the survival rate stats for the beer bug, but do you have any stats for the transmission rate? I don't have that. I know that it does easily transmit, but still, here's the thing. If we all choose to wear masks, distance, because we have family members that we care about and love, wash our hands, etc., I would say there's a very good chance that the numbers would be very, very similar to what they are now. When you're forcing people to do these things and when you're overstepping your bounds, all you're doing is pushing more and more people to do things that they normally wouldn't do, like gather in mass numbers, close together, breathing in each other's spaces, and they might even have family members that are affected, but they're so pissed off. So actually, I think that shutting things down and doing this is actually more detrimental because you're pissing off people to do things that they normally wouldn't do. Where if you just said, "Hey, here's what we know, here's our recommendation," maybe make a requirement for certain groups, like say, "Hey, if you're of this age," but even then I have issues with it because I don't like people being controlled by government. Let us see here. Orange Hat Reviews says, "Jaws is the first blockbuster. It was the first to hit $100 million. That's what I thought. Eric K says, "Gone with the Wind was a blockbuster." Yeah, it was a different kind of So, blockbuster in the sense that we're talking about typically was seen as, even though Jaws is a brilliant movie, it basically was more so seen as the beginning of not necessarily lowbrow work, but simple concept, right? When you look to Gone with the Wind, it's not a simple concept. It's a long movie, lots of dialogue, etc. What is Jaws? It's a shark attack movie. It's a brilliant shark attack movie, but it's a shark attack movie. So basically, when we say it's the first blockbuster, we mean it's the first film to make mass amounts of money on a very simple concept. You know, when you adjust for inflation, yeah, Gone with the Wind is huge, but that's because also movies were very different at that time, and people were seeing it like over a very, very long period of time, which is very different than what it is today. Pod Racing Palpatine says he saw Jaws on its 78 release. That's awesome. James Ashier, do you think the election will affect anything with COVID-19? Yeah, I think that it's going to very much impact. See, here's the thing. The election is going to impact it, and it is also going to impact the election. The question is in what way? Either way, I don't think it's going to be good. 70B says, we have dropped a link in the chat for Kelly and Armani. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate that, 70B and Tina. Thank you for continuing to post it. I really do appreciate it a lot. And again, thank you very much for anyone that's been able to give even just a little bit. Thank you. All right, let's see. So yes, please slow down if you can, because I do want to shout out some people for... So yeah, I'm going to start... Okay, so that's what I'm going to do, because we're right around on time, and I want to shout out some people for gifts. So I'm going to be skipping people that have made a lot of comments tonight. But let me catch over with my D-Live fam. First, D-Live fam, y'all know what's up. D-Live fam, when I say, hey, can we slow down a little bit? They're like, we got you. We got you, Odin. Where on YouTube, it's like, I still have 1,000 questions. You know who you are. Super. Second skipped comment, just remembered, I'm a scatterbrain. Hey, that happens. If you're looking for a new chair, I get very mild back pain. I just got an E-Win Champion, and I really like it. $300 plus. Yeah, it's a little much. I have some birthday money, though. So it is a racing chair. I don't know if I want another racing chair. I think I'm done with those. Forever Sci-Fi, I don't like sugar. Dropped it years ago. 85% dark chocolate now tastes sweet to me. Ew, dark chocolate's disgusting. No. I mean, at least it's chocolate. Like white chocolate, not chocolate. It ticks me off that it's called chocolate, because it's not, right? It doesn't even have any of the key elements of chocolate in it. But nah, dark chocolate, no. Milk chocolate, milk chocolate, so good. Pod Racing Palpatine, it seems that pineapple pizza is the last Jedi of food. ZK Man who's a member says, I hear there's candy of the corn over here. No? Ooh, ZK Man. Not yet, but I plan to get some. Last year I was able to bring it to my students. This year it doesn't work so much because can't have the students all grabbing in the same bin with candy corn, with all the germs and everything. And I doubt that they'll ever individually wrap candy corn. That would be ridiculous. All right, so skipping some comments. General Wingster, Odin, twirl that evil mustache. I did notice. So this was not done on purpose, by the way. You see how it's like curling up a little bit? That's from the mask that I have to wear during the day, because it just pushes up flat against the face and it pushes this up. So yeah, it's like I feel like a dastardly evil person. It's crazy. Let me go and fix that. Yeah. Maybe. HyperDex 13. I found a Turkish troll with a Turkish delight with a turkey and turkey. No, Hyper, no. Angry Mango, I usually just leave a 20-pound bag of sugar and a box of spoons outside the front door. Let the little monsters have. That is Angry Mango. That is strategy. That is smart. It's cheap. It's efficient. I don't know if it could get away with it, though, in this current era of COVID. Rob D, since food and candy keep being brought up, do you get turkey or ham for Thanksgiving? Turkey, dude. I don't get the ham. I don't understand why people get ham. Well, first off, ham is the worst. It's like the one meat I don't like. I am about as much of a meat eater as you can get, and I do not like ham. So when people say they get ham for Thanksgiving, I'm like, ew, get out of here. Tina says, oh crap, a friend in Texas just texted me that she saw Unhinged, said it's more violent than she thought it would be, said the movie is good, but Russell's character is not redeemable. Hey, that's okay, though. That's okay. Sometimes movies don't need to have redeemable characters to be entertaining. Thenotos Felicitas, he has all the virtues I dislike and none of the vices I admire. Winston Churchill. Let's see. Super says, I know I agree. I just asked about transmission because I haven't seen it, and it could be yet more hard evidence that shutdowns are excessive. They can't wave it away as conspiracy. Yeah. Oh, so yeah. I don't know transmission rate, but here's what I do know. 2% of the entire U.S. population have there been confirmed cases. So only 2% of the entire 380 million people, only 2% of that 380 million people, which is still a lot of people, right? 2% is not very large, but when you compare that to 380 million, it's going to be a lot of people. But still, percentages matter too. 2% have actually gotten it. Now, many will argue saying, well, that's just confirmed cases. There's a lot of people that have gotten it, but they're immune to it, or they have antibodies, or they had no symptoms. They were asymptomatic, right? But then all that means is, yes, but that means that only 2% of people actually, and not even that 2% had symptoms, right? That's 2% of people that have been tested and have been shown to have it. But many of the people that were even tested were asymptomatic. So we're talking about a very, very small percentage of the U.S. population that had symptomatic COVID. So, but the reason why we know that it's highly contagious is because when there's one case, all of a sudden you see many other cases pop up. So we know it's easy to spread. We know that it's very highly contagious. But even with that being the case, the numbers are still so low in comparison. You're like, wait a minute, is this really a pandemic when we're dealing with such a small percentage? Again, there might be different metrics for how we define that, but yeah, it's hard for me to see it. That's for sure. That's for damn sure. Waiting for Nerdrotic. Laura says, things that anger Odin for 1,000, Alex. Yeah. Yes. Rob D says, I'd say blockbuster equals film not made for any particular audience and that anyone can enjoy. Yeah, I mean, as I said, I think that there's definitely a specific definition for it, but I've forgotten it. Super, because I do know the survival rate is above 90% for every demographic. Here's the thing. Not even above 9%. 99.98% for many. And 99.9, I think, is every single demographic. The lowest might be 98%. It's very unlikely for one to pass away from it. And even of those cases of people passing away from it, they usually have at least on average 2.5 other conditions happening at the same time. Bruce is happy and says, yes, dark chocolate. Ew, get out of here. Super. It's actually not bad at all. I was worried about getting one, especially because I'm heavy, but it's comfy. Yeah, but I don't know if I got the gaming chair. I don't know if I want another one. I think I'm kind of... let's see. Brian, you have a good one, man. Let's see. James Dachier, do you think we have been lied to by the media, medical professionals? No, and that's the slippery slope, right? I don't think that everything's been entirely fabricated. I think that we had information. Information was slowly getting out there. People acted on information before the information was complete. People made conclusions based on the information. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of climate change in a much shorter period of time, right? Where people were like, oh my gosh, back in the 70s, oh, everything is going to freeze. Oh my gosh, the next ice age. And then time went on and we realized, oh no, the data doesn't really support that. And then it was, oh my gosh, the ice caps are going to melt. And then they never melted. And now one's melting, but then the other is growing ice. And so now a lot of these things, right? A lot of these alarmist mentality. Here's the thing. Alarmism in any form is idiocy. Alarmism in any form is dangerous. And I think alarmism in any form should be ignored. Alarmism, not the issue at hand, right? I don't think we should just say, oh yeah, COVID is nothing. And we should just not wash our hands and just wipe it on everyone's face and we'll be fine, right? I don't think that's true at all, right? It would be like saying that about the flu or even the common cold, right? No one wants to get sick, and anyone that's sick of gets sick with anything, even the cold can have terrible things happen. But we need to get away from this alarmism, and by alarmism I mean shutting down the economy, forcing people to wear masks at all times in all locations, that kind of thing, right? I think that is when it starts to get a little bit dangerous. Now, again, it makes sense from certain situations, right? I think schools absolutely should require masks because that is a liability for the school and for the business. I think that, to me, makes a lot of sense. A business, even, right? Especially any businesses dealing with elderly or kids. I think they have a liability as well. See, that at least makes more sense because there is a financial reason behind it. But yeah. Tina B says, now I want dark chocolate with sea salt and Kentucky country ham. Thanks a lot. Ew. Nick, but what about pineapple stuffed crust pizza with pepperoni top? Ew, no. Get it away from the pizza. Hybrid X13, if we only had Chocolate Guy from SpongeBob in here, he'd be going crazy with this chat. Chocolate. I do love chocolate, though. Real chocolate. That's that nice milk chocolate. And it's delicious. Eric K., you are channeling your inner Snidely Whiplash with the upturned mustache. This is true. James Dachier, do you think... I got that. So again, slow down with the questions, please. 13th Warrior, ham is often served with a slice of pineapple. Methinks I see a pattern developing. All right. And Eric O'Sullivan, how's it going? Hypernex15. Odin, can you scream the world global warming in a panic voice every time you say it that way? I laugh. I don't know why. Global warming. What? I don't know which one you meant. Panic. I didn't get it. I didn't get what you were trying to say there. Will Gentry, blasphemy. White chocolate is manna from heaven. No. Will Gentry, it's delicious. Will Gentry, I did not say it's not good. It's not chocolate, though. Tell me what quality it has that makes it chocolate. I'll wait. Why do we call chocolate chocolate? There's a certain thing that chocolate has in it that white chocolate does not. So calling it white chocolate is an abomination, but it's delicious. It is delicious, though. Daniel Thorne, so you'll take twice as much green eggs instead of ham. I won't take any ham. Phonemo, ham on Thanksgiving is great for the midnight still drunk sandwich. It's simple and made blackout drunk. Oh, Lord. Fan of the ladies. We got someone over there in D-Live land. What's going on? Chocolate is based. Hypernex13, I hope I made you happy, man. Orange chat, white chocolate is yuck. Dark chocolate is good. Dark chocolate and mint Kit Kat. What? No. Traditional Kit Kat, bro. Gosh, y'all are heathens. Or in the words of that fantastic character from, what is it called? SpongeBob, Mermaid Man, and Barnacle Boy, but it's Mermaid Man. To all of you who say these things. Now, just Felicitas, my mom makes fudge using Ghirardelli chocolate. Oh, fudge. Oh, my mom makes the best fudge. And you can't beat me on that. All right, so I got some stuff. So just one more time before we end this thing with some shout-outs. Again, if you want to help a young family, again, the man in, so it was two, Kelly and Armani, they were engaged. They were on a trip. This was the first time that they had been able to be alone in 2 years since their daughter was born. They were 2 weeks away from getting married. They went on a whitewater rafting trip, and there was a freak accident where basically the T portion of the paddle hit Armani in an artery, which caused him to go into a coma, and it's not looking good. And I believe last update I heard was that they have taken him off life support, and he may have passed. I honestly cannot confirm that, but if you want to support them, because they obviously are a young family, their family obviously are trying to come in from all over the country to be there for Kelly and to support the family, and also to try and cover the ICU costs as well. So if you want to help them out, again, I'll post that link one more time to their GoFundMe. And again, every little bit counts. Every little bit helps. And even if you cannot donate, please feel free to at least offer your thoughts and your prayers towards them. So again, for those that like names to pray for, Kelly and Armani, please keep them in your prayers. And again, if you can donate, great. And if you can't, again, any little bit of a, again, positive vibe or prayer would be fantastic. So thank you to the few people that have donated. And thank you again for your support. And so now that I think I'm caught up everywhere, I do want to give a huge shout out because some amazing people have been very, very generous. So as you all know, I am going to be a father. And originally we were going to start labor. We were going to induce labor on Thursday. but because of things going on, which again, everyone's healthy, everyone's fine. But basically because of things going on, we have to wait until Monday now. So that means positive news. I'll be able to likely be on Friday Night Tights, and I will likely be able to have a Saturday stream. On the rough side of it, right? Wife is just like, I just want to meet our son, and I want to meet our son too. So I'm having to wait just a little bit longer. But some amazing people, amazing subscribers, amazing friends have put together some stuff, and I just want to give them a special shout out. I had so much mail at the P.O. Box today. It was fantastic, and so I think I should be able to remember because I did open them already. I know that some people like me opening it on air, but because they were gifts, and they were baby gifts especially, I wanted my wife to be able to have that instant reaction, because as you all know, like, seeing that instant reaction is just it's just fantastic. And so she loved every single one of them. She was thrilled. And seriously, she was just so touched by the generosity of the community and the thoughtfulness of the community. And some of these things are just so fantastic. The first one I do want to point out, though, is from good friend Mr. Peabody, who has sent several things over the last couple years. And the first gift he sent for baby Thor was a drop bear, a koala. And so he's now sent a friend to the koala. And what's funny, though, is that when the package was brought to me by the person at the post office, his head was already sticking out. So it was already kind of opened because somehow in the process, his head started to peek out. And so we, of course, have to have also a cute, adorable little kangaroo. So not only does baby Thor have a koala drop bear, also has now a kangaroo as well. So thank you very much, Mr. Peabody, for sending this. And yeah, we're going to put this next to the drop bear. And speaking of which, the dogs are now coming in. Hey, Freya. I'm showing them the gifts now. So.
Thank you, Mr. Peabody. We love it. It made us laugh.
Yes, it did.
Did you find out why its hip was sticking in?
I did not.
Did you tell them?
I just did. As they're now sniffing through. Be careful. There's chocolate in there, and you can't have the chocolate puppies. You can't have it. You can't have it. Love you. That was Freya. So again, Peabody, thank you very much. Again, adorable. We love it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to have to keep this up here. Otherwise, my dogs will also find it enjoyable as well. All right, so another gift we got. Shout out to Super Anime Gamer Super. I was able to message you also as well. And he sent us a few things. And one of the things he sent us is something that was specifically meant for Freya, because he remembered that Freya was an artist and loved art. And so he sent her a Harry Potter Magical Places coloring book. And my wife, Freya, actually already has one similar, but it's not this one. So this one has different pictures, different images in it. So she was thrilled. She saw it and she was just like, she was so excited. And it was already there was it was a rough day just because finding out that we had to push everything back a few extra days at the hospital. She was kind of in a sad mood, and so this brightened her day. And immediately, I was like, she was holding on to it, and I could tell that she wanted to start working on it. And I was taking it because I was going to put it in the bag to bring it downstairs, and then I was like, do you want me to leave it up here so that you can start on it? And she says, mm-hmm. So she loved it. So again, Super Anime Gamer, thank you so very much for the coloring book. And Freya has already actually started to color in. And actually, let me see which one she started in. So she started with one of the portraits. I know it's harder to see with the light, but she's already started coloring in one of the portraits. So thank you very much, man. I really do appreciate that. All right, so these are not gifts. These are movies that I received from the company that I work with, but that was actually a cool find. So as you all know, MVD Visual sends me some stuff to review every now and then, and usually they're films that I've never heard of, or they're error video releases of movies that I just don't know much about. But one that I got, which is actually I'm very excited for, it's an Arrow video release of Mallrats, and this is probably one of my favorite Kevin Smith movies. So freaking funny, and I can't wait to dive into some of the special features on that. So shout out to them. Not part of the baby gift stuff, but just it was at the post office, so it's in my bag. Another thing from Super was he got Baby Boy some Soothies, and he says that these are what he believes and what has been told to be some of the best. And we had not had any pacifiers yet. So this is definitely big for us. So thank you very much. And it's great to have some passies and some soothies for baby Thor. So thank you very much, Super, for that as well, in addition to the book. And the other thing that Super got us is one. So we do have this book, Super, and I know you had said that you didn't know if we had it or not, but we only have the miniature version of it. So it's actually perfect for us to have this one because we can start off with the miniature one, and then as he gets older, we can then switch over to the larger book too. So he got us a classic kids story, Goodnight Moon. My wife, again, eyes lit up because even though we already had it, we didn't have the larger version of it. And so Super, dude, thank you so much for just being awesome and for getting us those things. And again, Freya's already, she's wanting to get the Harry Potter one back so she can start on it again. And we're very excited to have the larger version of Goodnight Moon to be able to read that story to him as well as he gets older, to have that big one. All right, so now we've got a couple more things in here. So let me go ahead and shout out Adam Shawhan, superfan Adam Shawhan, Adam and the clan with all of the wiener dogs. Yes, indeed, all the wiener dogs. So first, he sent me, as we were talking about earlier, he sent me some milk chocolate. That's right, it's the real chocolate. And I'm going to go ahead and enjoy some right now because it's real chocolate. So one of the candies is one called Flake. I've actually never had it before. Cadbury Flake. But it says milk chocolate on it. So, well, it was correct in saying that it was a flake because it just exploded all over my desk. Oh no. And of course, River's cleaning up the pieces. Luckily, it's a very small amount of chocolate. But, oh Lord. God, it's falling apart. Oh boy. That's milk chocolate. That is the way it is supposed to be. Now I need to clean this up though. Because my dogs cannot have chocolate. Oh Lord. All right. It just exploded all over the place. Brings the name Flake to a whole different meaning. But anyway, Adam, thank you very much for the chocolate. And now River is so excited because there's chocolate all over the bag now. The other thing he sent, though, was for baby Thor specifically. And it is freaking adorable. It is, again, just one of those things that you have to get babies. And it's a onesie, but it's a special one. It's one specifically made for baby Thor. Where's my hammer? Look at it. It's so cute. Perfect for baby Thor. Yes. So Adam, dude, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Adorable. And I love it. And my wife's heart was just so lifted up by it too. So, so thank you again, Adam, for that. And that of course will be, oh look, more chocolate. Got one everywhere. So thank you again for the chocolate and for the onesie. All right. So now we have the last item. And it's definitely, I think, all of these items are great, but there's just so many individual parts to this next one that are just amazing on different levels. And you'll understand why. So this one is one where I have to shout out the mother of the channel, one of my chosen of Valhalla, someone that's always been very generous with me, has been very generous and has just been an amazing person. So shout out to Laura, because she is, again, amazing. And my wife was just like, oh my gosh, does it have a... And I was like, yes, it does. And you'll know exactly what I mean in a second. But she also got us a piece of clothing for baby Thor. And it is perfect because look what it is. Look at this. Look at that. And yes, it comes with a cape. He's going to have not only his little onesie, not only will he have his little cape, but also, and here's the best part, he'll also have a little hat, a little Thor hat, little skull cap to keep his head warm. he'll be bald like me, and so he'll need to keep a little head warm. So, so yeah, this is the one where my wife was just like, "Oh my gosh, it's so cute." So, thank you so very much, Laura, for that amazing gift. And again, shout out to Laura, shout out to Adam and the clan, Captain Adam and the clan over on DLive. Shout out to Super Anime Gamer. And of course, also shout out to Mr. Peabody as well, who I know was here earlier. I don't know if he's still here or not, but thank you so much. But Adam, I got a bone to pick with you because there's literally chocolate everywhere. And I think it's because the chocolate was maybe dry. So it makes me ask the question, how long was that chocolate sitting there? Did you give me old chocolate? Did you know that it was going to be old chocolate and it was going to explode in my face? Get all over the bag and make my dog sick? But seriously, thank you so very much. I really do appreciate it. Again, thank you all very much for the tremendous generosity. Again, Baby Thor will indeed look exactly like Baby Thor, the way that he's supposed to, and he'll have a little bit of a friend as well. Friends all around. So, River, you're ridiculous. I know the chocolate tastes good, but you really can't have any of it. You really can't. So actually, I need to take care of these little pieces right here before she gets them. So, yes, this is completely sanitary. That's okay. I'm trying to save my dog's life. Because if anyone would be deathly allergic to chocolate, it would be River. So, so yes, many hearts in the chat indeed. Flakes are like that. You just got to eat the flake with ice cream. Full Effect says, okay, they're like that. Thank you, Blake St. Clair. Will Gentry says, if he comes before then, good luck with the birth. If not, forget I said this, and I'll repeat it on Saturday. Well, thank you very much, and I'm just going to take care of this right now. Boom, you're gone. Thank you very much for all the gifts. Seriously, it really means a lot from the bottom of my heart, from both Freya and I. Thank you so very much for your generosity. And shout out to everyone that donated tonight. Shout out, of course, to anyone for my mods, Stephanie B and Tina, especially my Valkyrie, Empress of the Universe, Tina B, and my General Stephanie B, of course. And Laura was in the chat as one of my mods tonight as well. So thank you, Laura, and thank you again, Laura, for the gift. Again, for everyone for the gifts. Again, Freya loved every single one of them. So seriously, thank you so very much. And so, DLive fam, y'all stick around. I'll take care of y'all like I normally do. And just before we end the stream, let me shout out, first off, my members who were at the Army of Asgard level and above. And so, let us see. How can I find this? Current level, Army and Keeper of the Bifrost apply. So, shout out to Bruce, Andrew Hoyle, Eric K, Orange Chat Reviews, Adam Avery, the Bosco 2000, Twirly Wolf, J Stowe, and Aiden Vickery. Thank you very much for being the Army of Asgard and Keeper of the Bifrost. You are awesome. Just like last time, my September list is going to be the ending. But as I said, everyone that is on the October list is mentioned in the September list. And so thank you so very much for being Patreon and Subscribe Star supporters in advance. And again, before we end the stream, one last time, if you want to support, again, there is a family going through a tragedy right now, and it would really mean a lot to me and to the family and to, again, my family member who knows them. Again, if you could even just keep them in your thoughts and prayers. If you can donate, that'd be great. If you can't, again, thoughts and prayers alone would be great. So again, the GoFundMe has been posted both on YouTube and also on DLive. And again, every little bit can help. And so many people have already been very, very generous with it. So again, thank you very much. So David and anonymous person donated tonight. So thank you very much for your generosity. And again, if you could just keep them in your prayers, again, that is for Kelly and Armani. If you could keep them in your prayers, that would be fantastic. So thank you all so very much for being awesome, for being amazing and beautiful people. I hope you all have a very, very wonderful day. And I hope that you all rock. That's all I can really say. Speechless. Thank you so much. Love you guys from the bottom of my heart. Have a wonderful night. And as always, God bless. And now a huge shout out to all of my September Patreon and Subscribe Star members: Albertus Magnus, Animation Commentator, Brian P., David Bobrizik, Dion, Divex, Enrique Evangelista, Father Christopher Miller, hail to you, Father, Father Damian Cook, Frank the Tank and the Shawhan Wiener Dog Clan, Harold Francis, The Hunky Chunky Funky Monkey, Inflamed Wood, Trap Productions, Jason Clark, Jacob Juice, Jeffrey Toone, Jonathan Carney, Kenneth Camille, Lady T, Laura the Modern Major General Story, Mad Mitch Dunaway, Mike Jackson, Mr. Peabody and his evil twin with the beautiful hair, On to June, Orange Hat Reviews, Out of Step with Reality, Outpost Dyer, Riff Magos, Rosetta Allen, Steve Glasker, Teresa Martin, Theodore Bendon, Tina Bojan, and Tina B. Thank you very much for being my supporters over on Patreon. And to my Subscribe Star members, stand for John B., Perpetual Punster, Robert Revo, Mr. Roy, Glinzer, Darkstar57, J. Alex McCarthy Jr., US 888-209 Fast, Dean Heiss, Harold Francis, J-Rod the Beer Guru, Nebadon G. Adams, and the K-Man. Thank you so very much for being my supporters over on Subscribestar, and a shout out to all of my supporters on both platforms. If you yourself want to get your name shouted out at the end of every single video and live stream, please consider joining on Patreon or Subscribestar. You can also get access to exclusive giveaways, to an exclusive podcast that I do twice a month with my friend John the Flick Pig Flickinger, where we talk about just random stuff going on in the movies, our reviews, and also we take Q&A questions from everyone as well in those categories. So if you would like to have any of those things or access to them, or even the biggest of them all, to be one of my chosen of Valhalla and get a t-shirt during your first month, and also have access to be featured on the channel once a month on the Chosen of Valhalla live stream, please consider checking that out in the links in the description below. You guys are all amazing and beautiful people. Have a wonderful day, and as always, God bless.